Hi, this is Jamey with Stonemeyer Games, and I'm here today to talk about a game, a mechanism in one of my favorite game experiences ever. A game that I really thought I'd already talked about on this channel, but I don't think I have. And I absolutely need to talk about it because I'll soon be announcing a legacy game of my own. So the game I'm going to talk about today is Risk Legacy. I ended up playing Risk Legacy, a campaign of the game back in 2013, so it's been a little while, but it was my favorite gaming experience of 2013. I absolutely loved it. The whole thing about Risk Legacy is basically the first game starts out as Risk, and then every game you change the board and you change the factions that are in the game. There are factions in this game through stickers and writing on things and destroying things, tearing up cards. And that stuff is all awesome. But my favorite mechanism in the game are the packets of new stuff that you unlock. And I'm not going to spoil anything in this review, but if once you open the box, you'll see that taped to the inside of the box are, I think, like maybe 6 to 8 envelopes that you open at certain points in the game. So they say like open when this thing happens. And then in the box itself, there are certain containers that are not open that you have to open at certain times in the game. So it's this unlocking mechanism where there's something new that you don't know what it is, and you get to unlock it at a certain point in the game. And I absolutely love this mechanism for a couple reasons. The first reason is just the sense of mystery about them. Because usually when you open a game, you open all the components and you look at them right away. The sense of mystery in any other game is discovering while you play how those different things interact with one another. But it's a whole new level of mystery when you're not even allowed to open those components when you open the box. And I absolutely love that sense of mystery. Then there's the sense of joy that you receive when you finally get to open it, because that mystery is over and you finally get to look at this new thing and you get to add it to the game. That's awesome as well. Now, my favorite element of this mechanism, of all those things, is that and I've talked about this in recent videos, is the idea that they give you a way to start off with a very simple game and make it more complex the more times you play. I love this about any game, but legacy games do it particularly well, especially legacy games that start with a foundation that people already know. Like you already know Risk, if you already know Pandemic, then it's easy to start the first game of Risk Legacy or the first game of Pandemic Legacy. You don't have to learn much at all. You can just jump right in and start playing. And that, to me, is brilliant, that you can get into the game, that first game for the first time, really easily. And then every time you play, you get to add an extra level of complexity. And it's little bite-sized chunks. This was something I explored in the Tuscany expansion pack, where I encourage players to just add one expansion at a time. That was the legacy element of that game. It was a very light legacy element because you could undo all those changes. You could add 5 expansions for one game and then take them out for the next game if you wanted to. But the unraveling element of it was legacy, where you start off with a base game of viticulture, and then you add one new expansion, then another expansion, then another, so that you're not learning 12 expansions all at once for the first game. And so, yeah, this is an element I'm exploring in Charterstone, because Charterstone is a new game. It doesn't, unlike Risk and Pandemic Legacy, you don't have that foundation going into it. You don't know how to play Charterstone. And so the fun of designing it has been starting out with a very, very simple game at the very beginning, and making sure that game still is fun. But the fun definitely goes up. Like the first game kind of feels like a round of a longer game. And even the second game feels like that. But every time you play, you will unlock a new advancement. And a new advancement adds something new to the game, and usually like a very small rule set that you have to understand. And every game you get to unlock something new. That's directly from Risk Legacy. That's the experience that I had with Risk Legacy that I really loved. I loved just sitting down at the table and starting to play without having to learn, a 20-page rule book, because those rules were slowly unraveled throughout the campaign. And that's what I hope to see in other Legacy games as well. I love that they're welcoming to new players because you do have such a simple rule set that first game. And I'm curious to see if Seafall, which is one of my most anticipated games, both Seafall and Gloomhaven are Legacy games. I'm curious to see if they do that same thing, where they start off with a very simple base, and then add complexity from there through these packets that you open. So yeah, that's my favorite thing about Rust Legacy. I'd love to hear your opinion if you've played the game without giving any spoilers away in your comments, or that unlocking, unraveling element of other Legacy games, if that's an attractive quality to you. Thanks.